What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the video. Happy Sunday evening also, but wait, hold up. You guys are here for the morning routine video, right? Yeah, I get it. And you're probably wondering, how does this guy have so much energy in the morning? Well, let me tell you, it ain't the morning right now, guys. So right now it is the evening, and I wanted to start this video in the evening because my morning routine always starts the night before. It is essential. If you want to prioritize waking up at a specific time in the morning, it is so essential that you prioritize your nighttime routine the night beforehand so that you get enough sleep, that you are able to have energy in the morning throughout the entire day and maintain your focus along the way. And that is also going to help skyrocket your fitness goals, your fat loss goals, your muscle building goals, any goals that you guys have. It starts the night before. So when do I typically go to bed? For myself, I wake up at 6 in the morning. So if I want to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, I need to go to bed between 10 to 11 p.m. And I know for myself that I am naturally kind of a night owl. That's how I've always been my entire life. And so I really need to have that discipline. When I see the clock in the evening turn that 10:30 to 11 p.m., I know I need to get my butt in bed so that I get at least 7 hours minimum every single night. So again, my morning routine starts right now in the evening. That way I wake up at 6 in the morning. And speaking of that, we'll see you guys in the morning. I might have a little bit less energy then too, by the way. Good morning, everyone. It's time to get this day started. All right, so first things first, this morning routine is going to be as real and raw as it gets. So I'm going to show you exactly what I do. So this is kind of the unconventional way of making my bed in the morning, but typically before I even jump out of bed, I actually start to make my bed right from being in bed, which makes it honestly a lot easier, especially with having a king-size bed. So I will move the sheets over this way, fix everything up right from being inside the bed. And just like that, before I even hop out of bed, the bed is already made. So what I do every single morning is right when I get done weighing myself, I jot it down inside of my coaching app that I use for myself and I use for my clients. That way I'm able to just stack the data right away. I get it done and dusted. I don't even have to think about it for the rest of the day. And that's going to be data that is very valuable to myself or for me to make changes to my clients' calories and macronutrients as needed too. And then typically right when I am done with jotting my weight down inside of the coaching app, what I then do is I either like to pop up YouTube, I like to pop up a podcast, or I like to listen to some of the training modules that my coach, my business coach, has set out. And typically whatever I'm listening to podcast-wise, audiobook-wise, or anything else has to do with what I am specifically working on that day. And even more specifically, that morning block, I like to listen to a podcast that is either just going to motivate me, is directly pertaining to whatever it is that I'm working on, just so it gets the gears moving, and then I attack that first working block full speed with some ideas being generated too. So I just want to show you guys this gadget because if you do not have one of these and you enjoy eating eggs, it is an absolute game changer. You can literally put like ham right in there and then crack an egg, put it right in there. cover it up just like so, throw it in the microwave for literally like 1 minute, pull it out, scoop it right out, boom. Easiest egg sandwich you can ever make. This tool, gotta get one. So my daily hydration always starts first thing in the morning. I drink 1 gallon of water every single day. And you guys are gonna notice that a lot of the habits that I have are built. They're stacked off of one another. And honestly, I pull a lot of my information right from the book Atomic Habits, which is an absolute game changer if you have not read that book already. But now, dishes are done. I have a clean sink, and so I'm able to throw my gallon water jug right under the water, and I already had that water nice and cold. And what I do now, part of my morning routine, is I always start out by drinking 30 ounces of water right away. Woo! I know that this glass is 15 ounces already. And so what I do is the first glass is going to have a cocktail of one thing, and the second glass is going to have a cocktail of some other morning essentials. So the first morning essential that I like to kick it off with is some morning greens right here. And I've been using First Form's morning greens. Absolutely love them. Been using them for quite some time, and it's going to help improve overall gut health. I do 1 scoop here, and if I'm being honest with you guys, I notice a lot of big benefits when it comes to reduction of bloating whenever I have this, and that also will help increase the absorption of the food that you're consuming too. So get yourself some greens. I already have a little mixer upper, so I just throw this guy right under here and I blend it in. Cheers, y'all. Cocktail number 1. The greens about to go down. I personally really enjoy the taste. I find it super refreshing. Sometimes you gotta mix it up a little bit more when you get towards the bottom. And the second one is going to be another 15 ounces of water here. So that will equal out to my morning total of 30. And the second one is going to be an electrolyte blend. And we're kind of makeshifting it a little bit today, just because I don't actually have some electrolytes already with me. So all you gotta do to make your own electrolyte blend is take some sea salt here. Just add in a little bit of sea salt into the mix. And then when I do have an electrolyte blend, it's a lot easier. But typically what I do in the morning is I just take a simple calorie-free, caffeine-free flavor blend packet of anything. Sometimes I'll do the Mios, and they have like an electrolyte blend too. And sometimes I'll just do something as simple as one of these guys. I typically don't have too much, but I like a little bit of flavor in the morning when it comes to my second electrolyte drink. Nice, refreshing second cocktail. The third and the final ingredient that I add in, some creatine monohydrate. And creatine monohydrate, it doesn't really matter when you get it in during the day. It's just something that always likes to be in your system at all times. So I always do 1 scoop of creatine monohydrate every single day as part of my morning routine, and that way I know that I'm getting the daily 5 grams that I need to be getting every single day also. We're gonna blend this guy up now. Boom. And just like that, the final morning cocktail is finished. I love the second blend. Super refreshing also. And guys, if you are not hydrating first thing in the morning with 20 to 30 ounces of water, men and women, you have to try it out. It is an absolute game changer. When you are sleeping for that 7 to 8 hours, you are not drinking any water. You might even wake up in the middle of the night, use the restroom, and yeah, you're dehydrated when you wake up in the morning. And so if you want to have energy first thing in the morning, if you want to improve your focus for that first morning block in the morning, then make sure you hydrate. Do you wanna go for a walk? Let's go for a walk, come on. We have an absolute beautiful morning out here, and a lot of my morning routine is also based off of the Andrew Huberman Podcast, or Dr. Andrew Huberman, and he is extremely smart neuroscientist, and he talks a lot about getting outside first thing in the morning and getting out and getting some natural light in your eyes, because that helps start your circadian rhythm at the right time of the day. And ever since implementing this, I have noticed a huge boost in my overall energy first thing in the morning. And then also not only that too, but having the melatonin hit at the right time at night, so that I'm constantly starting to feel tired when I should be feeling tired right around that 9 p.m. mark. So it has been an absolute game changer. So he says typically get outside and get some natural light, and make sure you get outside, not stay like inside and put your head up against the window, but actually get outside and get some steps in too. And that's what I like to do, is get outside and get that natural light, and also walk for about 15 minutes, which for me is perfect, because also when you get outside and you get moving and you get the natural light at the same time, you're getting your heart rate up, and it just wakes you up that much more. I love my morning routine, and I do this even when it is snowing.
Let me free your mind, your mind, your mind. Let me free your mind, your mind, your mind.
So as you guys can tell, I have not done any of the personal hygiene portion of my morning routine yet, and that gets done directly after this. But you can see I literally have a system for like everything. It kind of builds off of one another. When the coffee's brewing, when I get done with my walk, that is when. This takes about 10 minutes, and for myself, it takes me about 10 minutes to get ready in the morning, do up the hair, brush the teeth, all that fun stuff. And so when I am doing that, my coffee is being brewed at the same time, and it works out perfect, because when I get done and I get all spruced up for the day, my coffee is brewed and I can get at it. To all of my coffee fans out there, which is your favorite coffee? Make sure you comment down below. What is your favorite coffee? Me, I love Folgers Dark Silk, or Black Silk. Oh my gosh, tastes absolutely amazing, and you would never go wrong. I'm more personally a dark roast coffee kind of guy. And yes, I do brew up a whole pot. And no, I do not drink the whole pot. And another big takeaway that I had from the Andrew Huberman podcast, which again, a lot of this is built off of that, but it's kind of shifted into my own lifestyle so that it works best for me. Another thing that I do is I delay all caffeine intake for at least 90 minutes after I wake up. And my morning routine is 90 minutes or an hour and a half long, so it actually ends up working out perfect. I drink my water in the morning, I clean up the whole house, I'm moving, I'm grooving, I'm getting blood flow on my walk, I'm getting natural light in the eyes, and it all builds off of one another. I don't wake up functioning perfectly, like I can just sit down and do deep focus work. My body needs that time to wake up properly, and when you do it properly, you also set yourself up for success, so that when you hit that first work block, you're able to do some deep focus work. And then I go to the gym after having breakfast. But one of the big reasons why he says that you want to delay your caffeine intake until about 90 minutes after waking up is because when you first wake up, oftentimes you are still feeling a little tired, you're still feeling a little groggy, and that is because we have adenosine still up in our brain, and that adenosine doesn't always dissipate right away first thing when we wake up. And that adenosine basically is making you feel tired. And when you have coffee or you have caffeine, it binds to the adenosine receptors, and it doesn't allow the rest of that adenosine to get basically flushed out of the system. Again, I'm not a scientist. This is basically from what I picked up on the podcast. And so when you do physical activity and you get those steps in also, which is part of that morning routine, that also helps basically burn up the rest of that adenosine, or use up and get rid of or flush out that adenosine in the brain, so that if you get rid of all the adenosine in the brain, then you can have that coffee, and then you're not gonna have that midday crash, because if you don't have all the adenosine leave the brain or leave the system and you just block it out with coffee, well, coffee is going to have that half-life of about 6 hours. So 6 hours later, or typically around that afternoon mark, if we still had that adenosine in our brain or wherever it is, if we still have that in our system and we block it with coffee, 6 hours later, that is what's going to bind back into our brain, allow that whole mechanism to work out, and leave you feeling that groggy midday slump, which none of us like to feel. And again, I am not a scientist. I would highly suggest giving Andrew Huberman's podcast a listen when it comes to his morning routine, because of course he's going to be able to explain it much better. Hopefully I explained it in a decent way. There's a lot that goes into it, and he also talks a lot about how when you get outside and you go for that walk and you get that natural light also, it sparks something called the cortisol pulse in your system, which basically sets the stage for creating that cortisol pulse, and that causes a change in your body's temperature throughout the day. So basically your body throughout the day starts to warm up, and around the 3 to 5 p.m. mark is when it's at its highest, and it peaks out, and then it starts to come down. And when it starts to come down, that is when melatonin gets released into the system, which makes you feel tired. So if you are getting outside, you're getting that natural light first thing in the morning, and it causes that cortisol pulse. 16 hours later is when you will start to get that natural melatonin release and start to get sleepy at the end of the day, and that is how you can help set your circadian rhythm. So this morning routine, again, it works for my lifestyle because I'm cleaning up the house, I'm getting things done, but in the same time too, I'm really setting my circadian rhythm, and I'm setting my energy up for success, focus up for success. This is a morning routine that I love to wake up to every single morning. But while I'm talking now, I should probably be getting this stuff done, so we're gonna go do that right now.
Let me free your mind, your mind, your mind. Let me free your mind, your mind, your mind. Let me free your mind, your mind, your mind. Let me free your mind, your mind, your mind.
So recently, I've been really on a huge Diplo kick. I can just play this, and these mixes are straight up like an hour and a half long, which is actually perfect because my first working block that I do, I sit down and I work for 90 minutes straight, or 1 hour and 30 minutes straight. And this track literally takes me from start to finish. I'm able to just turn this thing on and focus in. It is just such a great way to start this day. But first, we need some coffee.
Let me free your mind.
And you guys gotta check this out. Even this guy, Mr. Scout has habits. So he knows that when I have my first cup of coffee, for him, it is cookie time. Instagram gets to see it all the time. So if you're not following me on Instagram, I would highly suggest you follow me over on Instagram. But Instagram gets to see the cookie cam all the time. I'm gonna let you guys see the cookie cam today. Here we go, a little cookie cam ASMR going in. Oh. Enjoy, dude. All right, guys, and just like that, that is the morning routine. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. Hopefully you guys had a couple takeaways. I am super excited about this morning routine. Honestly, I love waking up at 6 a.m. because I love this morning routine so much. And if you can develop a morning routine that works best for you, then that is gonna be the best morning routine that works best for you. You might see 1,001 morning routines out there on YouTube, but the best one is always going to be the one that sets you up for success for however your day is structured. For me, I like to do my client work first thing in the morning. And when I do my client work, I like to be awake. I like to be alert and focused so that I can really go in and give my best information so that I can help people achieve their fat loss goals. And that is super important to me. So when I sit down, I wanna make sure I have good vibes with good music, I have full energy, and I can give full attention to my clients. So with all that being said, guys, again, a lot of my takeaways that I shared with you are also from the Andrew Huberman Podcast, and there's a very specific morning routine that he lays out where it lays out all of the science fundamentals behind it too. I'm gonna link that video down in the description. I would highly suggest giving it a watch. It's about 15, 20 minutes, something like that, and it's a really good one. But hopefully you guys had a couple takeaways from my morning routine. Again, I don't like doing dishes. I don't like cleaning the house at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I've done my workout. I've done my walks. I've tracked my calories. I've done my client work. I've done programming. I've filmed content. At the end of my day, I don't have energy to really do the dishes and do all the household work. So I would rather, when I'm super groggy and tired in the morning, I would rather just slowly wake up and just nonchalantly do housework and set myself up for success. And you guys saw all of the other steps. I'm gonna keep on rambling on if I don't stop talking now. It's time, maybe I don't need it, but it's time for a little bit of coffee. It's time for some client work. And it's time for you to subscribe to my channel. You can do that right here, guys. I upload new YouTube videos every Monday and Thursday, and we are going to stay with that. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. That would really mean a lot to me. And also, guys, if you did not see the last video, you can do so right up here. We'll see you on Thursday.